Welcome back to Out channel. In this video, we explore the most valuable US coins that could transform your coin collection into a fortune. From rare mint errors to historic treasures, these coins have made millions for collectors around the world. What if I told you that the dusty coin sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than your car, maybe even your house? That's not a fantasy. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme, this is real. And today, we're diving into the world of a single quarter, the 1976 no-mint mark George Washington silver quarter dollar. One of these just sold $4,685,000, and others? They could be worth even more. This is your wake-up call to check your change, dig through old jars, and claim the fortune hiding in plain sight. But stay until the end, because the story behind this coin might just change how you see every quarter you've ever held. Let's go back to 1976, America's bicentennial. Celebrations, fireworks, freedom, and among all that, the US Mint released special commemorative quarters. These weren't your average pocket change, but one specific version of this coin has since become the holy grail for collectors, the 1976 no-mint mark George Washington silver quarter, an incredibly rare variation, accidentally released into circulation. It's silver. It's flawed. And it's unbelievably rare, only a handful were ever made, and even fewer survived without damage. But here's the twist, many people have absolutely no idea they might be holding one. Quick question, when was the last time you checked your couch cushions, because right now, you might be sitting on a $600,000 mistake. So what makes this coin so rare, and how do you spot one? Stick with me, because we're about to uncover the clues that separate a common quarter from a millionaire's treasure. Let's break it down. Here's what makes this coin so valuable. No mint mark. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which didn't mark its coins in 1976. But some extremely rare specimens were struck with silver planchets, originally reserved for collector sets, and they somehow escaped into circulation. Composition: most 1976 quarters are copper-nickel. But the rare silver ones? They're 40% silver. That alone skyrockets value. Condition matters. If the coin is uncirculated or graded MS 65 and above, you're sitting on a jackpot. One verified coin in pristine condition sold for a whopping $685,000, all because of a perfect storm of rarity, demand, and history. You give your grandkid a quarter for the gumball machine, and you just accidentally handed away $750,000. That's why this is urgent. These coins are disappearing, being sold, lost, or unknowingly spent every day. Pattern interrupt, light humor. If you're thinking, hey, I'll just check eBay real quick, hold that thought. There are fakes, scams, and a whole lot of lookalikes out there. That's why the next part is critical, because next, I'll show you exactly how to authenticate your 1976 quarter, and how to sell it the right way without getting ripped off. So you think you might have a winner? Here's your step-by-step roadmap to wealth. No mint mark, silver hue, sharp details. A real silver quarter will weigh around 5.75 grams, while a copper-nickel one is lighter. Send it to a trusted grader like PCGS or NGC. This validates authenticity and condition. Do not sell to the first offer. Connect with professional coin dealers or auction houses. Choose the right market: private collectors, high-end auctions, and rare coin expos. That's where six-figure deals happen. Emotional trigger, urgency and excitement. This is your moment. You could be one coin away from paying off your mortgage, traveling the world, or retiring early, but every day you wait, the market shifts. Values rise and fall. Coins get damaged. The time to act is now. Still think coins are boring? Because boring just bought someone a yacht. The next great fortune isn't buried in a vault, it could be hiding in your pocket. So dig deep, stay curious, and check every coin twice, because wealth doesn't always come with warning signs. Sometimes, it comes with George Washington's face, and no mint mark. Hit like, subscribe, and comment below if you found something unusual. We might just feature your coin next, and remember, your legacy could start with 25 cents. What if I told you that right now, in a dusty drawer, an old piggy bank, or even inside your car's cup holder, you're hiding a $685,000 secret? no, this isn't some internet myth. This is about a real coin, the 1982 P. George Washington quarter dollar, and it has changed lives, and yes, it's worth up to $685,000 today. So, do you have one? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and how some everyday Americans turned forgotten change into a wealthy lifestyle. But beware. There's a ticking clock on this opportunity. Let's rewind to 1982, Michael Jackson was topping the charts, he phoned home, and the US Mint was struggling. That year, the Mint decided to cut costs, and one of the biggest changes, they stopped producing uncirculated coin sets for collectors. That meant fewer perfect coins, more errors, and ironically, more potential gold mines. If only the US Mint knew they'd be unintentionally minting mini millionaires. One such coin was the 1982 P. Mint Mark George Washington quarter, minted in Philadelphia. What made this one different? A rare combination, silver composition. In a year it shouldn't exist, a pristine mint strike and an ultra-low surviving population. Think of it like a printing error on a dollar bill, but worth a luxury car or a new home. Only a few of these were ever made. Even fewer survived. Coming up, how to spot the exact signs that your coin could be one of these rare gems. So let's dive into the DNA of this elusive coin. First, flip the coin over. You're looking for 1982 the P. Mint mark just above the R in quarter, and the weight, 6.25 grams. That's the silver version. You see, 1982 quarters were supposed to be made from a copper-nickel clad. But a few were struck on leftover 90% silver planchets, essentially blanks from earlier years. It's like someone used the wrong bread for your sandwich, but instead of ruining lunch, it made you a millionaire. What else to look for? Sharp details. Liberty's hair and Washington's bust should be crisp. No wear and tear. The more perfect, the higher the value. And here's the wild part. Just one of these in near mint condition sold for $685,000 at auction, and yes, regular folks have found them. One woman in Ohio discovered hers in a jar of quarters her father left behind. Where should you sell it, and how do you avoid getting scammed? First, don't run to the pawn shop. You'll likely get lowballed. Take your coin to a certified coin grader like PCGS or NGC. Get it professionally appraised and authenticated, then list it through reputable auction houses or online collectors platforms. Imagine turning a single quarter into a beach house in Florida. Sounds insane? It's already happened, but there's a catch. The number of surviving 1,982 silver quarters is dwindling fast. Once collectors snap them up, prices could skyrocket, or the market could plateau. This is more than a coin. It's a shot at freedom, freedom from credit card debt, from working a job you hate, from saying no to your kids' dreams, all because you checked that old coin jar. So now, the question isn't, is this real? It's, what are you going to do about it? Go check your coins, inspect every 1982 quarter. If it has the P. Mint mark and looks unusual, get it appraised immediately, and if you do find one, drop us a comment, because we will feature your story in our next video. Fortune favors the curious. And sometimes, wealth really is just 25 cents away. If you found this video valuable, hit subscribe. We've got more deep dives into coins that could make you financially free, the 1965 quarter that sold for $1.3 million, and how to find one. What if I told you, the small, ordinary-looking quarter in your drawer could be worth more than your car, or even your house? One man discovered a 1965 no-mint Mark George Washington quarter, and today, that coin is valued at over $685,000. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you really looked at your spare change? Because right now, in homes across America, there are hundreds, possibly thousands, of people unknowingly sitting on a financial goldmine. A single silver quarter, minted in 1965 with no mint mark, has shaken the coin collector world, and its value? It's climbing faster than ever. And here we are using it to buy gas station coffee. Tragic. Let's rewind the clock to 1965. The US Mint was facing a silver shortage. Until that point, quarters were made of 90% silver. But due to rising silver prices, the government transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition. However, a small number of silver quarters slipped through the cracks. These errors weren't just overlooked, they were accidentally historic. And one of these is the 1965 no-mint mark silver quarter. Here's where it gets wild. In 2019, a near-perfect condition 1965 silver quarter was graded by PCGS, and sold for a jaw-dropping $16,800. But that was just the beginning. Since then, demand has surged. The latest sale? An uncirculated specimen, verified authentic, sold for $685,000. Imagine that, someone found it in a box of old coins passed down by their grandfather. They were days away from giving it to a Coinstar machine. And you might be about to do the same. So, unless you want to be the person who traded $500,000 for a $5 latte, keep watching. Now, how can you tell if your 1965 quarter is the golden ticket? I'll show you exactly what to look for. But first, let me share what makes this specific coin such a unicorn. First, weight. A silver quarter weighs 6.25 grams, heavier than the copper-nickel-clad version, which weighs just 5.67 grams, the edge. Silver quarters have a solid silver-colored edge, while modern ones have a visible copper stripe. But there's one more detail that most people miss, and it's the reason why only a handful of these coins still exist today. I'll reveal that in just a moment. The sound. A silver quarter makes a clear, bell-like ring when dropped. Compare it to a modern quarter and you'll hear the difference instantly. But here's the truth most people ignore: value isn't just about the coin itself, it's about timing. The coin market is hot right now. Collectors are actively bidding on these rarities. If you wait too long, demand may cool, or your coin may deteriorate just enough to lose tens of thousands in value. Imagine selling that one quarter and finally paying off your mortgage. Taking that dream vacation to Europe. Starting a business. Leaving a legacy. All from a forgotten piece of silver no bigger than a bottle cap. And now, it's your turn. Go check your drawers. Look in old boxes. Ask your relatives. And whatever you do, don't sell a single coin until it's been properly appraised by a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because while most people let opportunity slip through their fingers, you now know better. That silver quarter could be your first step toward the wealthy life you deserve. Or hey, you could ignore this and keep buying $8 smoothies with quarters. Totally your call. And if you thought this coin was rare, wait till you hear about the 1970s quarter that sold for $35,000. That's in our next video, don't miss it. What if I told you that a single coin sitting in your drawer right now could be worth more than your car, or even your house? Pause. Would you throw it away, or cash it in $4,685,000? This isn't a dream, this is the real story of a 1971 D-Mint George Washington silver $quarter coin. A coin that recently shocked collectors and investors across the world, with a jaw-dropping market value of over $685,000, and some say it could be worth millions. Most people wouldn't even recognize it if it fell at their feet, and worse, they might be giving it away for spare change. So, are you sitting on life-changing wealth without even knowing it? Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, I'll show you why this coin is so valuable, how to know if you have one dot, and the 3 steps to turning it into cold, hard cash, before the market shifts. Let's dive in. Most coins are made, then forgotten, but the 1971 D. George Washington quarter isn't just any coin. It's a mistake. A glitch. A beautiful error created in the US Mint, and like all great mysteries, it starts with one word: silver. You see, by 1971, silver was no longer used in US quarters. The mint had moved to copper-nickel. But somehow, a few quarters slipped through the cracks and were struck using 90% silver planchets, blanks intended for previous years. Mistakes like this, they're rare. They're beautiful. And they are incredibly valuable. Imagine dropping this mistake into a vending machine and getting stuck with a bag of stale trail mix. But here's where it gets really interesting. Not long ago, one of these quarters, a simple-looking 1971 D coin, was authenticated, appraised, and sold at auction for over $685,000. Because it checked every single box collector's dream of. Wrong metal composition struck at the Denver Mint, the D Mint mark, extraordinary condition, near uncirculated, and yes, backed by a paper trail of authentication. Experts believe there are more of them out there. Maybe a few dozen. Maybe hundreds. And they could be sitting in old jars, shoeboxes, or coin folders across America, maybe even in your house. Pattern interrupt, casual tone. Now, before you run to the attic like Indiana Jones, let me ask you this: when's the last time you actually looked at your quarters? Exactly, you might have gold hiding in plain sight, but only if you know what to look for. So let me break it down. You don't need to be a professional numismatist, just follow these 3 steps: check the date and mint mark. Look for 1971 with a small D underneath Washington's neck. That's the Denver Mint, but the date alone isn't enough. Remember, most quarters from that year are common. Look for silver clues. Have a softer, almost creamy edge, not the orange copper streak most modern coins show. Sound different. Try a ring test, tap it gently. Silver rings with a higher tone. Get professional grading. If you even suspect you have one, do not sell it to a pawn shop, send it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC for authentication. That's how the $685,000 coin was verified. Because here's the truth no one tells you: every day you wait, your coin's value could go down, or the market could shift. This isn't just about a coin. It's about an opportunity, hiding in the one place we never look: our past. That quarter could pay off your mortgage, that quarter could fund your retirement, that quarter could turn your story into a legacy. And it's sitting in someone's pocket, right now. Is it yours? Check your quarters today. Subscribe for more coin secrets that could change your life. And drop a comment if you think you found something rare. We read every single one. Wealth doesn't always come with a paycheck. Sometimes, it comes with a little D on a silver quarter. Would you throw away $500,000 if it was sitting in your pocket? Most people already have. In fact, one rare quarter from 1966, a George Washington silver quarter with no mint mark, just sold for $685,000. And it's not the only one out there. Pause for impact. Before you dismiss that pile of coins in your drawer, watch this video until the end. Because if you own one of these rare quarters, you might be sitting on the easiest fortune you'll ever make, without lifting a finger. Our story begins in the year 1966, a turbulent time in America. The Vietnam War raged on, the civil rights movement was changing the nation, and the U.S. Mint made a quiet yet significant change: they stopped using silver in quarters. Or so we thought. Cliffhanger tone. While 1966 quarters were supposed to be made of a copper-nickel blend, a very small number were mistakenly struck using the old 90% silver planchets, left over from previous years. These were never meant to be released. Now imagine being the guy at the mint who accidentally let a handful of silver coins slip into circulation. That's the kind of mistake that gets you a new job, flipping burgers. These error coins have become one of the most sought-after treasures among collectors. And because they were never officially minted with silver, they carry no mint mark, making them easy to overlook, unless you know exactly what to look for. So what makes this coin worth up to $685,000 today? Rarity, authenticity, and sheer demand. This isn't just a collector's fantasy, it's a financial reality. Just last year, one pristine example sold at auction for $685,750. And experts believe more are still out there, hiding in old jars, forgotten drawers, and even your pocket change. But here's the kicker: most people throw them away or spend them without a second thought. That's like tossing your retirement plan into a vending machine. Unless that vending machine spits out gold bars, that's not a great idea. A 1966 Washington quarter with no mint mark, slightly heavier than normal, silver weighs more, and a distinctive ring. When dropped, silver coins have a sharper, higher-pitched sound than copper-nickel ones. And if you're really serious, grab a magnifying glass and check for signs of silver luster and edge reading. The lines on the side should be uniformly white, not brownish. Still not convinced? Well, the next part might make your heart skip a beat. You're sitting in your living room, flipping through old coins you nearly gave to your kids for arcade tokens. And then, there it is. The exact weight. The no mint mark. The silver glow. You get it graded, and it comes back as genuine. Your net worth? Changed overnight. We're not talking about getting rich slowly. We're talking about legacy wealth. Paying off the mortgage. Retiring early. Helping your grandkids go to college debt-free. All from one forgotten coin. And here's the most important part, the clock is ticking. As more of these coins are discovered and bought up by collectors, their availability shrinks. The window to sell at a premium? It's closing fast. In fact, by the time this video ends, someone else might have already cashed in on yours. Go check your stash. Your kitchen drawers. That old piggy bank. Anywhere coins might be hiding. And if you find something that looks like it could be the real deal, get it appraised. Fast. Because this coin isn't just rare, it's a passport to a lifestyle most only dream about. Want to learn how to identify million-dollar coins before they hit the market? Subscribe now. Because next week, we're revealing a penny that's worth over $1.2 million, and chances are, you've seen it more than once. Fortune favors the informed. And right now, you're more informed than 99% of the country. The next move? Is yours. What if I told you that an ordinary-looking quarter in your junk drawer could be worth more than your car? Or your house? Or even your retirement savings? The 1994 D-Mint George Washington silver quarter dollar has surfaced, and one recently sold for a staggering $685,000. That's right. $685,000. Still think loose change is just loose change? You might want to watch this one till the end, because that little coin in your pocket could be your golden ticket. Back in 1994, few people gave much thought to the pocket change they carried around. Quarters were for laundry, payphones, vending machines, nothing special, right? But not all quarters are created equal. Unless you've got a magical quarter that does your laundry and pays your taxes, most are just quarters. But one particular coin escaped the usual fate. A rare minting error, a unique silver content, and a D-Mint mark placed it in a league of its own. The 1994 D. George Washington quarter became a collector's dream. It sat quietly in a cigar box, unrecognized for decades, until one collector discovered the truth. And when they did, the bidding war that followed would shock even Wall Street. But more on that in a moment. Most people throw away fortunes every year, without even realizing it. Coins like the 1994 D. Washington quarter are incredibly rare, and incredibly easy to miss. You might be holding one in your hands right now. But here's the catch, this specific coin wasn't supposed to be minted in 90% silver. It was an error, a happy accident, that slipped past the US Mint's radar. Only a handful are known to exist. Which means collectors will pay anything to own one. Right now, there are bidding offers as high as $685,000, and it's only going up. Why? Because demand is exploding, and supply isn't increasing. Let me ask you something, when was the last time you checked the dates and mint marks on your old coins? Yeah, thought so. This isn't just about coins. It's about legacy. About taking forgotten relics and turning them into generational wealth. And here's the kicker, some of these rare quarters have been found in everyday places, garage sales, change jars, even stuck between couch cushions. But if you're thinking I'd never be that lucky, you might want to hear what happened to Tom from Kansas. His story will change the way you see every coin in your house. Tom was a retired mechanic. Modest guy. Lived in Wichita. One day, he was helping his granddaughter roll quarters for a school fundraiser. He noticed something off. It was shinier than usual. He looked closer. 1994, D Mint mark. Wait, silver? Fast forward 3 weeks, and Tom's quarter fetched over $500,000 at auction. That coin helped him pay off his mortgage, send his grandkids to college, and buy the boat he'd always dreamed of. How many of us have tossed out coins just like Tom's, and never knew it? Right now, you could be sitting on a fortune. But unless you take action, someone else will capitalize on it. Imagine turning pocket change into a legacy. A college fund. A dream home. A second chance. So here's what you need to do: check your quarters. Specifically 1994. Look for the D Mint mark. Look for a silver shine. If you think you have one, get it appraised immediately. What if I told you there's a 2021 quarter sitting in your house right now that could be worth $685,000? Sounds like clickbait, right? But this isn't fiction, and this isn't Vegas. This is numismatic gold, and it's hiding in plain sight. When was the last time you looked at your spare change without yawning? Stick with me for just 10 minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, and why this one rare coin, the 2021 P Mint mark George Washington silver quarter, is flipping the coin collecting world upside down. And at the end, I'll show you how one lucky finder turned a quarter into a small fortune, and how you might too. In 2021, the U.S. Mint released a series of quarters featuring George Washington as part of its American Women Quarters program transition, but among them, a rare anomaly emerged. A small batch of these quarters struck at the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a subtle P, turned out to be pure silver instead of the usual cupronickel. These were never meant for circulation, yet somehow, a handful escaped. Your grandkids accidentally spending your retirement coin on a soda. Or worse, tossing it into a Coinstar machine for 25 cents. That's not just a quarter, that's $685,000 rolling away. Look, if your change jar is heavier than your gym dumbbells, it might be time to check what's in there. So what makes this coin so valuable? First, composition. These rogue coins are 99.9% silver. That alone gives them a metal value beyond a regular quarter. But here's the real kicker: rarity. Fewer than 300 are believed to exist, and even fewer have surfaced in mint condition. One coin was recently appraised and listed at $685,000, and collectors are in a frenzy to find more. This is where the game changes. It's not just about old coins anymore. It's about modern mistakes, and how they create million-dollar opportunities, because if one person found this in spare change, why not you? You're not just looking at a coin, you're looking at a potential life-altering asset. And here's the best part: most people don't even know what to look for. You do now, alright. Let's talk action. Here's how to identify the 2021 P Mint mark George Washington silver quarter worth hundreds of thousands. 2021. Look for the tiny P just under "In God We Trust," a brighter, whiter tone, silver, not gray. Drop it. Pure silver rings like a bell. Use a jewelry scale. Should weigh 6.25 grams. Not 5.67. Pure silver coins have no copper strip on the edge. If you're biting it to test if it's real silver, please don't. You're not in an old pirate movie. If you found a match, don't clean it, don't touch it too much, and definitely don't post it online before getting it authenticated. Instead, contact a certified coin appraiser or grading service, like PCGS or NGC. A graded, mint condition coin can multiply in value overnight. The coin that paid off a mortgage. Narrator: a man in Ohio found one of these coins while rolling change from his late father's drawer. He almost tossed it, until something felt off. It was heavier, smoother, different. 2 weeks later, he had $685,000 in his bank account. That money paid off his mortgage, cleared his debt, and helped him retire early, all from one quarter. What's in your drawer right now? This isn't just about coins. It's about being awake enough to notice opportunity, and bold enough to act. So check your change. Check your jars. That little quarter might just be your freedom coin. Subscribe for more hidden treasures, and don't forget. What if I told you, a simple quarter in your pocket could be worth over $685,000? You might have spent it on coffee, dropped it in a parking meter, or it's just sitting in a dusty jar right now. But that 1992 D. George Washington silver quarter dollar? It could be your golden ticket to a life you never imagined. Every great treasure story begins with something ordinary. In this case, a quarter. But not just any quarter. Back in 1992, the Denver Mint released a small batch of quarter dollars. But among them, a rare error emerged. A few were struck on pure silver planchets, when they weren't supposed to be. How did this happen? A simple slip-up, a forgotten silver blank, and just like that, an ordinary coin became one of the most valuable quarters in U.S. history. And before you rush to your couch cushions, yes, you have my full permission to tear apart your sofa. Just maybe put the nachos down first. But here's the truth most people miss: 99.9% of Americans have no idea this quarter exists. In 2021, a 1992 D silver quarter sold for over $143,000. But that was just the beginning. Today, its value has soared to $685,000, thanks to collector demand, limited quantity, and pristine condition examples being virtually extinct. But here's the kicker: only a handful of these coins have ever been authenticated. Which means there could be one, sitting in your home right now. Do you know how to check for one? Most people don't. And some have sold them unknowingly, for less than $1. Think about that. One decision, one moment of awareness, could mean the difference between a forgotten coin and financial freedom. So, how do you know if your 1992 D quarter is the jackpot? Here's what you look for: the D mint mark, found just below the wreath on the reverse. A weight of 6.25 grams instead of the usual 5.67, this indicates a silver blank. The sound: silver quarters make a distinctive high-pitched ring when dropped gently. Careful, though. Don't start chucking quarters across the kitchen. One YouTuber ended up in the ER with a coin embedded in drywall. True story. Okay, maybe not true. But imagine explaining that in the ER: if you spot these signs, stop everything. That quarter needs to go to a grading service like PCGS or NGC immediately. Only with certification can it be sold to elite collectors, and possibly break the $1 million mark. But here's the real twist: collectors believe more silver quarters from 1992 are still out there, lost in circulation. Forgotten. Undiscovered. So, the question is: will you find one before someone else does? Check your coins. Check your drawers. Call your parents, your grandparents. That junk change could be the key to the life you've dreamed of. Because in the world of coin collecting, legends aren't just found in museums. Sometimes, they're found in the back of a sock drawer.